Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review with spoilers of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Now, this review is going to have spoilers in it, okay? So, but I'm trying to make this video not as long as my my non-spoiler review, okay? If that's possible. But anyway, this movie, like I said, with my non-spoiler review, this movie is not as bad as these critics make. I saw that Rotten Tomato score, and I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. And to me, it is ridiculous. The movie's not a 46. I don't know. Critics are critics, but that's why I judge a movie for itself. I don't go by that. But anyway, basically, Scott, he discovers that his daughter Cassie, she's been working with Hank and his daughter Hope to come up with a device that will allow them to explore the quantum realm. And of course, when Janet Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer, she sees that, she flips out and just tells her, "Why did you do this? Shut this down! Shut this down!" She like flips out, and they're wondering, what's going on, because I guess she hasn't talked to them that much about the quantum realm in her time in there. Remember, she spent 30 years in there, and I guess she hasn't really talked about it that much with with Hope and stuff, and probably even with Hank, she hasn't talked much about it in depth. We find that out later when she actually does tell them things, and of course, like you see in the trailer, they get sucked in to the quantum realm, and then we find out that that once they get sucked in there. That device that Cassie came up with, there's MODOK in there, who was actually Corey Stoll's character from the first Ant-Man movie. He's a version of MODOK. And he's been tracking that signal. And once they get sucked into the quantum realm, they find out that they get separated. Cassie and Scott are by themselves, and Hope and her parents are by themselves. So they're trying to find each other. And we find out that there's that Kang is down there, and he's actually been looking, for Ant-Man, because we got a flashback actually of Michelle Pfeiffer's Janet Van Dyne, her character being stuck in the quantum realm, and she actually meets Kang, and to me, this is some of the best sequences in the movie with her and Jonathan Majors Kang, where they're talking and stuff, and he has a ship there, and he's telling her that he can, he can master time, and he can travel anywhere and stuff. He just needs help building his, I guess the battery for his his ship, so he can escape the quantum realm. And they actually build it. They actually, over time they actually build it up, and she winds up touching, his ship and getting all these images of him conquering worlds and all that stuff and killing people and stuff. And so she actually gets rid of the battery. She actually used Pym particles on it, and I think she makes it gigantic and explore. She throws it down, and she gets it to expand where he can't get down there. He needs more Pym particles to actually shrink it back down to normal and get it. And that's where, of course, Scott comes in, and he winds up capturing them and basically telling them that, listen, you got to help me, Ant-Man, or I'm going to kill your daughter. Basically, that's what he tells her. You got to help me go down there. And there's a great sequence when he travels down there. I think they call it the Infinite World of Possibilities, where you see Paul Rudd. He gets down to to the bottom of the blown up battery, and then he starts seeing different versions of himself. And I think that whole sequence was absolutely hilarious when you see all these different versions of Ant-Man, and even one dressed in the Baskin Robbins, because it's they tell him don't pay attention to that because that's just there to confuse him and all stuff. But it's hilarious, him interacting with his different versions of himself. Okay. Anyway, in the meantime, Janet is telling Hank and Hope what happened down there between her and Kang and stuff, and how we have to stop him from getting out of the quantum realm. And of course, and then they actually Hope actually goes down there to help Scott, and they actually get it. And then of course we get that the sequence where it looks like Kang has won and he's getting ready to take off, but then of course the rebels and Ant-Man and they wind up eventually stopping them and stuff. Now, like I said, I enjoyed the movie. I know a lot of people, I guess people that didn't think it was a great movie. Again, if I was to rank them, I think I would rank this as the third best movie out of the three movies that we've seen. And like I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's not as horrible. I don't know what. Again, like I said, I don't bother listening to critics because they make it seem like it was a horrible movie. It wasn't to me. I think Jonathan Majors was great in this. To see the different sides of this version of Kang. Like I said, I like the sequences of him talking with Janet, and also the scenes with him and Scott, which were really, intense and terrifying. And Jonathan Majors, when he was going full Kang, he was pretty scary. And like I said, the only thing, negative things I didn't like about this movie is that Hope didn't get enough screen time, in my opinion. She didn't get enough. Her mother actually got more time in this movie, which I guess is understandable because they had to go into the whole backstory of her and Kang and stuff. And remember, she knew people down there because she spent all that time. And so, she was going around helping, trying to find, the people that she knew down there to try to find, locate Scott and Cassie. So I guess that's understandable in that way. But I kind of missed as much, Hope and Scott together. I missed them not being together as much in this film. Although there's a great scene where she actually comes back to get him, where it looks like he's going to be stuck down there, and she actually comes back and helps him defeat Kang. And I thought that was a nice, cool sequence and stuff. And they should have kissed in the movie. I don't know why they just butted heads and hugged. I think they should have kissed in the movie, but yeah, I'm not the screenwriter, I guess. But and also Cassie, the character of Cassie, and it's not the actress's fault because it's the way the role was written. At certain points, she annoyed me because she annoyed me because she was getting on her father. And I thought this is, come on, all the stuff that he's been through and you're being annoying to him. I just thought that was totally ridiculous. She's basically telling, oh, you got to get involved. And all this. Come on, he helped save the world. Okay, shut it. Okay, be quiet. Okay, you don't know what he went through. I guess you do know. She does know now because he told her, and it's documented history that everything that everything he's been through, and for her to, to be yelling at him, it's to me just absolutely ridiculous. Although they had their warm moments in this movie too, which was good, and I did notice that they have a different actress than the actress that played his daughter in the last movie, and I don't know why they recast the part. I guess maybe they wanted a more famous actress, not more famous actress that I guess maybe had more experience. I guess this actress who's playing Cassie has more experience. I guess been in more things maybe. Maybe that's what it was. Because I don't see what other reason why would you recast the actress who was in Endgame, or unless she quit acting or something. I don't know why they would recast, but they probably did again, like I said, because this actress has been in a lot of. I've seen her in a lot of different TV shows and movies, so maybe that's why they decided to get somebody with a little bit more experience to play Cassie and play off Paul Rudd. Although I thought the last actress who played his daughter Cassie, I thought she was really good. I love their moments in Endgame when he came back and stuff. But it is what it is. But her character did annoy me at points and stuff. Yeah, I know. I could understand her point of view, but she still was annoying at certain times. Okay, but I did, again, like I said, I did like her. Their bond and stuff between her and Scott, and Paul Rudd was great as usual because he's just so empathetic. Paul Rudd is like the everyman, and so you just instantly empathize with him and stuff whatever he's going through and stuff. And it was kind of hard to watch when Kang was beating the crap out of him, and I was just that's why I kind of silently cheered when Janet came back and zapped him, and he got folded into that engine. Because Scott was getting the crap beat out of him by Kang. He was Jonathan Majors, like I said, he was intimidating, and he was so physical with Scott. That was hard to watch. I say, but and then I'm say William Jackson Harper. I think that's the guy. He plays like a psychic in this movie, and he has a few funny moments in this movie. Minor supporting role. I know a lot of people were speculating that he might be Reed Richards or something. And of course, there was no after credit scenes with the Fantastic Four in this. There was a mid credit scene, then a post credit scene. Now let's talk about the mid credit scene. That's when they showed I guess the Council of Kang, as you would call it. They showed the 3 different versions of Kang, actually talking about the other Kang that was in the quantum realm being dead, because we saw him get sucked when Janet zapped him, and I think Scott kicked him, and he got sucked into the engine, and then you just assumed he died. Although, with Kang's, you can never be too sure that he's completely dead. But apparently, these Council of Kangs assume that he died, because they talk about it and they laugh about it. Like Ramatot, there was what was the other the Kang? I forgot the guy's name. the guy with the big hat, and then there was like Future Kang. So those three were talking about Kang being that other Kang being dead and stuff. And then let's call a meeting, and then you see this big stadium full of different versions of Kang, which looked freaky. And then the after credit scene, which was really good because we got to see another version of Kang. It took place like during like I was gonna say like the old timey. I forgot there's a word for it, which I can't remember. Where the people, where they had just have that period of time when they just started getting cars. I guess that I forgot that there's a word for it, which I can't remember. But where people just cars had just been invented, and so some people just have cars and stuff. That type of area where you see a guy on stage, a guy named Timely, I think that's what he says his name is, and he's talking about time and all this stuff, and then you see in the audience, people are watching him. He has all these devices on stage, and then you see Jonathan Majors with the weird hair and glasses, and he's dressed like the old timey. And then you see in the audience, you see Loki and Owen Wilson's character. You see them in the audience and talking. So that's going to be obviously a lead into the Loki season 2. So I thought that was a nice, cool. So this is another different version of Kang, and we don't know which version of Kang that is. That could be He Who Remains, maybe in the beginning. That could be him, or maybe that could be a younger version of the Kang that got killed early in this movie. You don't know because there's so many different versions of Kang. And remember, we're going to have the Kang Dynasty. And there was one thing that I really, when Kang was introducing himself to Ant-Man and his daughter, and he was saying that he said I can't, like he's been through so many timelines. He said, which version have you? Which you're an Avenger? I think I've killed a bunch of them. he's been through so many timelines that he's killed Avengers in different timelines, and he just said it so casually, and I thought that was just chilling because he's been through so much, and the way he was talking to Michelle Pfeiffer, like I said, I love their scenes together. Him, Jonathan Majors, and Michelle Pfeiffer. When in the flashback, and then also the future scenes where they were talking, and she was, he was explaining who he is and all this stuff, and how time is this and that, and this. I just loved their scenes together. The scenes would just sparkle with that tension, and just made me love Kang even more. And just and the whole city, empire that he built up down there. And then before he's of course he didn't leave, of course, because he was monologuing when he's supposed to be leaving. But like I said, this movie is not that bad. Like I said, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I did enjoy it. Okay, I wasn't bored throughout it. I laughed at the points you're supposed to laugh. And I did like the father and son moments, father and daughter moments, between Cassie and Scott, even though, like I said, Cassie at times annoyed me. Okay, she definitely annoyed me. And MODOK, again, Corey Stahl, okay, he was there for comic relief, basically. That's what he was there for and stuff. He was okay. I could have lived without MODOK. MODOK wasn't essential to this movie at all. Okay, this version of MODOK was not essential to this movie at all. Okay, and I was kind of hoping that we get a tease about the Fantastic Four, which we didn't get. Obviously, they're saving that for something else. But overall, like I said, I did enjoy the movie, and I'm definitely going to pick it up when it comes on Blu-ray to complete my Ant-Man collection. And I don't know if they're going to create another Ant-Man movie. I kind of hope they do, just so we can maybe get maybe an adventure with more, maybe Cassie can be off with the Young Avengers if they do that, and you'll get more Hope and Scott together. Okay, that's one part that I missed. The scenes that she was in, Evangeline Lilly as Hope, she was a badass. But to me, a lot of her screen time was short. She didn't have as much screen time as in the first 2 movies, which I kind of was bummed out about because I definitely like her character, and I thought she was great. She was a badass in this movie. Again, but the positive was that you did get more of Janet Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer, and she to me was a total badass in this. And of course, Bill Murray's in this as well. He plays a character that Janet Van Dyne knows down there. And I thought Bill Murray did a good job. He wasn't, playing basically a dick. Okay. There were a lot of jokes about, about what him and Janet Van Dyne did and stuff down there, saying that in front of her husband and stuff. Okay. I thought it was kind of cheesy. But in any event, again, like I said, I did enjoy the movie, and Again, I gave it a 7 out of 10 because I did find it enjoyable. Jonathan Majors was really good as this version. Again, another version of Kang. This Kang was mean. Okay, this Kang was viciously mean. Okay, the other, he who remains. I think that's what they call him. He was, of course, he was like a pussy cat compared to this Kang. This Kang was ruthless and just brutal. Again, that fight is hard to see when he's beating the living crap out of Scott. That was rough to watch. But any event, I enjoyed the movie, and maybe, like I said, hopefully they'll maybe do another Ant-Man movie. I know they said at the end of this movie that Kang will return. We know that because it's going to be the Kang Dynasty, and we're going to have these new versions of the Avengers face off against Kang. Okay? And I still think eventually He Who Remains is going to come back and help the Avengers defeat, I don't know which version of Kang, or a bunch of those, maybe the Council of Kangs, or maybe there'll be a bunch of them teaming up to fight the Avengers or whatever. I don't know how they're going to work that out. Okay? Which version of Kang will be, taking on the Avengers. But I think He Who Remains will come back, actually, and I think he'll help put down all his variants and stuff. I think that's going to be the end of the dynasty. I think he's going to come back and just help the Avengers wipe them out, and I think that's how that's going to end. But anyway, let me know what you think of this video. Did last longer than my spoilers review, my spoiler-free review, obviously, because I talk more in this. Anyway, let me know what you think of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below. Let me know what you think. Also, I have links to my social media in the description box, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also have a link to my other channel called Views and Opinions. You can check that out as well. Also have a link down below to my Patreon. I want to say a special thank you to my Patreon, okay, for always having my back and always looking out for me. Also, on my Patreon, which is only $5 a month, I have tons of content on there. I have DC shows on there. I got Marvel shows on there. I have movies on there. I got The Boys Season 3. I got Obi-Wan Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett. Like I said, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, What If, She-Hulk, I think Loki on there as well. DC shows, I got Titans, Doom Patrol, Superman and Lois, Stargirl. Okay? Follow the link below to the Patreon. Check it out. It's only $5 a month to join. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Trade Pastor saying so long, and take care. Sorry about that.